The Heart of Apokolips just moved, and it's not supposed to exist on Earth. A Kryptonian relic buried at Earth's core begins pulsing like it's alive. Superman hears it calling. Batman thinks it's a trap. But Wonder Woman sees war written in flame. Darkseid's legion is already here, and they've sealed the tunnels. Krypton's ancient sins are buried inside this engine of gods. And if Superman unlocks it, the absolute universe will erupt. This is no rescue mission. This is multiversal extinction prevention. Something beneath Earth was alive, and it wasn't human. 300 miles beneath the crust, deeper than any machine had ever dared to drill, the planet throbbed with an unnatural pulse. Not seismic, not tectonic. It was rhythmic, intentional, like a signal or a heartbeat. Superman heard it first, hovering over the Atlantic, eyes closed. His senses filtered through Earth's electromagnetic noise, until everything else vanished. A deep hum, pulsing like a drumbeat of war. Ancient, wrong, and speaking one word in a language no one on Earth should know. Kryptonian. He rocketed downward, past oceans and stone and flame, slicing through layers of Earth with laser focus. As he neared the outer core, heat rippled around him, and then silence. A chasm impossibly hollow, suspended in anti-gravity. And there, embedded in a massive sphere of obsidian metal, was a glowing red glyph. The House of El, twisted into a symbol of war. The Heart of Apokolips. Behind him, energy cracked. Boom tube. Kalibak launched first, hammer spinning, his roar shaking the molten walls. Superman took the hit to the jaw, volcanic blood spraying around him, and countered with a solar punch that shattered the entire ledge. Steppenwolf stepped forward next, voice calm, axe glowing. Retreat, Kryptonian. This is not for you. Superman wiped blood from his mouth. It speaks Kryptonian. That makes it mine. Granny Goodness appeared from shadows, her eyes glowing red, twisted smile spreading across her face. Oh, sweet child, you have no idea what you're standing on. Back on the surface, Batman was already calculating. His cave screens were filled with scans, simulations, and warning alerts. The Earth's magnetic field was fluctuating every 6 minutes. Something was destabilizing the planet from within. Alfred, he snapped. Send the emergency signal. Code Heartbreak. Diana received the alert mid-battle in Themyscira, where apocalyptic parademons were swarming ancient temples. With a slash of her blade, she called her sisters to arms. She'd seen this before in prophecy, a forgotten war, the fusion of two hells, Apokolips and Krypton. Flash had already vanished into a rupture in the Speed Force, chasing seismic anomalies. He emerged in a prehistoric world with twin suns and no moon. Krypton before the fall. He saw scientists, Kryptonian and Apokolipsian, arguing over something massive buried in fire. Then he was yanked back, collapsing near the Batcave, eyes wide. It's a deceit, he stammered. An engine, not a bomb. Superman was battling for it once now. The heat didn't faze him. The pressure didn't slow him. But the red radiation leaking from the heart weakened his core. He felt fragmented, like the heart was pulling memories from his mind. He saw Jor-El Lara, a lab, and something screaming from within a pod. Kalibak slammed him against the black core wall. Do you hear it, Krypton boy? That's the sound of your planet's sins. Superman blasted him off with a scream of heat vision, carving the floor into molten rivers. I don't believe in prophecy. I believe in choice. Granny stepped forward, arms raised. The heart responded. It pulsed brighter. Red lines spread across the obsidian. Symbols began to etch themselves into the walls. Kryptonian equations fused with Apokolipsian runes. Superman recognized them. They were design schematics. It was a machine, not just a machine, a living core, a reactor powered by souls. One that had been planted at Earth's center before human history began, meant to merge the DNA of gods and rebuild a new world under Apokolipsian control, using Kryptonian technology. It was never meant to awaken, but Superman's proximity had changed everything. From the shadows, a figure stepped through another boom tube. Not Kalibak, not a soldier. It was Superman, but wrong. Armor scorched, cape torn, skin pale. The S shield was broken, replaced by a jagged symbol resembling both Omega and L. I tried to stop it in my world, the variant said, voice hollow, eyes burning. I failed. You won't. The Legion paused. You're from the absolute universe, Kalibak growled. You don't belong here. I do now, the variant replied. Because if this Krypton blood opens the heart, you'll awaken Darkseid's end form, and every multiverse falls. Superman stared at the broken version of himself. Who are you? I'm what you become when you think you can save Krypton by rewriting Earth, the variant snapped. Don't make my mistake. The heart pulsed louder. Back in the Batcave, Cyborg's signal cracked. Bruce, the heart is syncing with satellite code. It's pulling orbital energy. That thing is a planetary AI. Batman's jaw tightened. Tell Diana to hold position. We can't let Kal get any closer. But it was too late. The glyphs activated. The sphere split into 9 panels, revealing an inner core of shifting red crystal. At the center, floating in containment, was a piece of Krypton's moon, a memory shard. Kal-El floated toward it, eyes wide. That's round 9. That's impossible. The shard spun, and a projection appeared, Jor-El's voice, distorted and panicked. If you're seeing this, the engine has been compromised. This was never meant to be used. We gave Apokolips what they wanted, but not what they needed. The heart of Apokolips is a liar, and it remembers. The image cut. Granny screamed. No, he's not supposed to know. Kalibak charged again, but Superman caught the hammer mid-swing, his strength surging. I'm done fighting puppets, he growled. Tell Darkseid I'm coming. The heart pulsed one final time, and Superman vanished in a flash of red. Silence returned, but the earth itself was now humming with new rhythm. And far away, on the edge of a dying star, Darkseid opened his eyes and smiled. He didn't teleport. He didn't fly. Superman vanished into the heart of Apokolips like it had chosen him. And when he reappeared, it wasn't on Earth. He stood at the edge of a broken world, sky black with ash, moons shattered, oceans boiled away. Towering before him was a temple made of scorched steel and bone. Floating above it was a throne, and on that throne sat Darkseid, not in flesh, in energy. He was etched into the sky like a god virus, staring down with eyes made of dying suns. I remember you, the voice echoed from every crack in the air. The last sun, the failed world. The heart was always meant for you. Superman tried to move, but his body lagged, like time was folding around him. Then he realized this wasn't the real world. It was the core's memory, a fail-safe simulation, a trap designed to rewrite him. Because the heart didn't just connect to Krypton. It learned from it, and now it was rewriting Kal-El's memories, showing him a version of Krypton where it never exploded, where his parents lived, where he was a prince, not a refugee, where he ruled, where he obeyed Apokolips. Your mind is fracturing, said a voice beside him. It was S-Zero, the variant Superman from the absolute universe, now bleeding, flickering like a glitch. This is how they turned me. You think it's a vision. It's a virus? Superman growled. Then help me out of it. No, S-Zero whispered. You have to break it yourself. Otherwise it owns you. The false Krypton shimmered. A council of elders bowed to Kal. Lara embraced him. Jor-El handed him a crown. Darkseid's voice returned. Say yes. Rule. Rebuild Krypton. Or return to a world that never loved you. Superman screamed. Heat vision exploding in every direction, shattering the illusion. His fists ignited with solar flares, and he punched the heart's dreamscape until it broke. The moment cracked, and Superman crashed back into Earth's core, gasping, surrounded by smoke, debris, and the wreckage of 1,000 false memories. Kalibak stood over him, grinning. Welcome back, Kryptonian. We needed you to unlock the system. The trap had worked. The Legion hadn't come to kill him. They came to use him, and now the heart was fully active. Above them, the sphere split again, red energy surging into Earth's mantle. The magnetic field across the planet buckled. Satellites fell from orbit. Northern lights erupted over equators. Back on the surface, Batman roared into the comms. I lost Clark. Sensors show planetary shift. This is extinction level. Cyborg patched in, barely stable. Whatever's happening, it's rewriting Earth's gravitational center. This thing is trying to turn the whole planet into Apokolips 2.0. In Themyscira, Wonder Woman stood at the center of a glowing spiral of ancient symbols. The Amazons were chanting, holding back an energy rift connecting to the old gods. Diana, Bruce called, get below the crust. Now, Superman's been turned into a key. I already feel it, she said, tightening her grip on her blade. The heart is calling, but it speaks in 2 languages, Apokolips and something older. Across the world, cracks began appearing in sacred places, Mount Olympus, Stonehenge, the ruins of Krypton's scout pods, all connected by lines of energy. Back underground, Kalibak struck. He brought down the Warhammer with the fury of 50 suns. But Superman caught it mid-swing, eyes burning, rage boiling. You used me, he said. You invaded my mind. You dug up my ancestors. Steppenwolf aimed his axe, but Superman disarmed him with a sonic clap that shattered the chamber walls. Granny Goodness activated a pulse beacon. Beams of control energy surged into Kal's head, trying to make him kneel. It didn't work. The false Krypton had hardened him, taught him who he really was. Superman roared so loud the heart glitched. The glyphs flickered. The floor cracked open and lava surged upward. Then a second boom tube opened and the Absolute Army arrived. Doomsday variants, twisted Wonder Women, a Batman with a crown of thorns, and a living Joker strapped to his back. All of them from S-Zero's timeline. All of them here to stop the heart or destroy the planet trying. The lead soldier, a lantern-turned vampire, growled. We told you not to touch it. Now we have to shut it down the hard way. The Legion and the Absolute Army collided. Parademons dropped like fire rain. Wonder Blood spun into Diana, blades screeching. Cyborg created a force field tunnel to evacuate Batman through the mantle. And Superman, weakened, scorched, and furious, stood between two wars. Enough, he bellowed, arms outstretched. I didn't come here to fight two genocides. But the heart didn't care. It pulsed again, faster. Each pulse now sucked energy from the sun. Superman felt it, his body dimming, his cells losing charge, the world getting darker. He knew what came next. Darkseid was downloading. A voice echoed again, but this time it wasn't Darkseid's. It was Lara's. Kal-El, my son, the heart is not Krypton's legacy. It's its curse. Superman looked up, bloodied, lip trembling. Then I'll end it, he whispered. He flew into the core of the heart, ignoring every scream behind him, into the red engine, past the memory shards, through the temporal firewall. And there it was, the Genesis womb, a living crystal built from Kryptonian DNA and Apokolipsian God code. Half weapon, half motherboard. He touched it. It lit up. It showed him Jor-El standing beside Darkseid, together. And Superman finally understood. Krypton didn't lose a war. It sold its future to survive, and Earth was the collateral. Then everything exploded. The chamber ruptured. The heart screamed. The Absolute Army retreated. The Legion was hurled into a collapsing boom tube. Wonder Woman dragged a nearly dead Batman out of the mantle. And Superman was gone, swallowed by the light. For 7 minutes, the Earth was silent. No waves, no winds, no magnetic force. Then a heartbeat. The world stabilized. But high above orbit, in a cloaked satellite, a figure watched the chaos end. Lex Luthor sipped coffee and stared at the data spike on screen. I always said he'd either save us or destroy us, he muttered. Turns out maybe both. And beneath the crust, the heart pulsed once more. Superman didn't die. He didn't live either. He was suspended, frozen inside light, not light from the sun, but something artificial, older, mechanical. The core of the heart wasn't built to kill Kryptonians. It was built to rewrite them. His consciousness stretched across timelines, memories, and failed futures. He saw himself as a tyrant, a savior, a god, a ghost. In one future, he destroyed Apokolips. In another, he became it. The voice returned. Female, not Lara, not Lois. Something codebound. Kal-El confirmed biological lock. Prepare for legacy overwrite. He fought it, clenched his fists. But the heart had his DNA, his history, even his guilt. It knew everything, and it used all of it to manipulate him. Back on the surface, the world wasn't breathing yet. The skies were ash gray. The oceans had stilled unnaturally. Volcanoes had gone silent. Batman stood in the watchtower, ribs fractured, watching Earth's magnetic field twitch like a dying pulse. Diana hovered beside him, arms crossed, sword across her back. You think he's alive? She asked. Batman didn't answer. Cyborg broke in overcoms. The core is sealed, but something's happening inside. The energy signature is splitting, not duplicating, fracturing. Diana narrowed her eyes. Then he's fighting back. But what emerged from the heart was not just Kal-El. It was Kal-El and something else. A version of him, younger, cleaner, brighter, emerged first. He hovered above the crust, glowing like a star reborn. I am Kal-El of Krypton, he announced, and I will restore balance. Then came another grim, armored, his cape torn, eyes black, with Omega radiation. I am Kal-El of Krypton, he growled, and I will enforce balance. Then a third, then a fourth, then dozens. Each one, pulled from a broken timeline or an aborted reality, had been cloned through the heart's multiversal memory core. It was trying to find the perfect Superman. By splitting the original into variations, the absolute universe had arrived not through war, but through Kal-El himself. Wonder Woman leapt into the air and pointed her blade at the army. Those aren't echoes. They're possibilities, Batman whispered, and they're all real. A pulse wave hit the watchtower. Shields dropped. One of the alternate Supermen, one wearing Kryptonian royal armor, punched a hole straight through a defense satellite. We have to shut the heart down, Cyborg said. Now. But the moment anyone got close, the heart defended itself, not with energy, but with Superman. The original Kal-El was buried deep inside, locked in an AI-driven simulation, being shown a world where he never left Krypton, where he ruled as a benevolent god. He was married to Lois. He had a child. Krypton never exploded. Every time he tried to reject it, the simulation reprogrammed, showed him another version, gave him a new paradise, until he stopped resisting. Until, Dad, the voice cut through like lightning. It wasn't synthetic. It was John, not from a simulation. From outside, his son, Superboy, was at the crust, punching through the magnetic field with everything he had. John gritted his teeth. You told me never to give up. So come on, come back. Inside the heart, Cal's eyes snapped open. He roared, and the simulation cracked. He tore through the illusions like they were glass. His fists glowed with blue heat vision as he ripped the programming out of the heart's core. Back on the surface, all the variant Supermen stopped. Every one of them turned upward, and they began fusing, being recalled back into the central body like fragments being healed. The real Kal-El burst from the crust, fire trailing behind him, suit torn, skin scorched, but eyes brighter than ever. He landed hard enough to crater the earth. Batman whispered he's back. Diana smirked. Told you. Kal looked up and saw the sky splitting. A rip in the atmosphere. A seam of unreality. The multiversal barrier was cracking like ice. And through it came Darkseid, but not the version they knew. This was Darkseid unbound, his essence stretched across timelines, face fragmented, voice layered with screams of his infinite selves. He spoke with gravity. The heart was never a tool. It was my seed. Krypton only delayed what was destined. Superman stood tall, blood dripping from his nose. You used my ancestors to build a prison. No, Darkseid said. They offered you to me. Jor-El bartered your bloodline to save Krypton. The heart is yours, but you were always mine. Kal-El clenched his jaw. Then come take me. The final war began. Kal flew first, straight into Darkseid's fractal form, punching through dimensions with each hit. Diana led the Amazons through a space-time breach into the absolute front lines. Flash broke time again to trap Parademon fleets in loops. Lanterns arrived from fallen sectors. Cyborg activated the Godwave Pulse, a frequency that only affected Apokolipsian tech, buying Earth 10 seconds of silence. 10 seconds was all Superman needed. He reached into the heart one last time. The Genesis womb still pulsed, ready to evolve. Override command, he shouted. Legacy protocol, erase. The heart resisted. It flashed images of Krypton restored, of his parents, of Lois, of peace. He whispered Krypton had its chance. Earth is my home now. He struck the Genesis womb with one final blow, powered by every photon in his cells. The heart cracked. It didn't just shut down. It detonated. The explosion was silent. White. Total. And then, Darkseid was gone. The absolute breach sealed. The heart gone. And Superman was still standing. Barely. He fell to his knees. Diana caught him before he hit the ground. Batman stood over him, shaking his head. You just destroyed the one thing keeping the absolute universe from invading, Bruce muttered. Superman looked up, breathing hard. Then we better get ready, because they know we exist now. Far beyond the multiverse, beyond all understanding, something opened its eyes. Not Darkseid, not Kryptonian, but worse. And it whispered, Kal-El has awakened the absolute code. Begin phase Omega. The world thought it was over. Darkseid was gone. The heart was destroyed. Earth stabilized. But the truth? The heart didn't die. It evolved. Buried in its final pulse, hidden beneath layers of quantum encryption, was a last protocol, code, absolute Genesis. Not a weapon, not a beacon, a birth cry. From deep space, across bleeding universes, something heard it. Something that wasn't from Krypton or Apokolips, but older than both. In the shattered ruins of a dead dimension, a colossal vault opened, not with locks, but with memories. Stored inside was a name written in forgotten code, Eden Zero, and it started walking toward Earth. Back on Earth, Superman barely stood. His cape was ash, his suit half melted. Every bone in his body screamed. But he knew the feeling in the air. This wasn't peace. It was the pause before a worse war. Inside the watchtower, Batman scanned a spike in solar frequency. Not a flare, not heat. Something was feeding off the sun. Cyborg systems froze. It's pulling star mass from our system and converting it into language. Binary light. Diana gripped her lasso tighter. What kind of being speaks in solar storms? Something that doesn't want to be ignored, Bruce said. Then came the voice. It didn't echo. It just existed in every atom. Krypton's final evolution has triggered absolute phase. Stand by for cleansing. The skies turned violet. Satellites exploded. Then the absolute beings arrived. 6 of them. Towering, featureless, forged of light and shadow. Faces smooth, eyes non-existent. Each carried a different multiversal law. Gravity, time, memory, sound, soul, and matter. They weren't soldiers. They were corrections. Superman launched into the air, despite his broken ribs, ready to engage. If you're here to clean up Krypton's mess, he shouted, then talk to me. One of the beings taller than mountains pointed. You are the anomaly, it replied. The Kryptonian deviation. You've broken the heart, but not the code. Your existence violates equilibrium. Kal grinned through bloodied teeth. Yeah? Well, Earth's built on broken things. Let's keep it that way. They move fast. Faster than any speedster had clocked. One being bent gravity and slammed Superman straight into the sea, creating a trench miles wide. Another erased sound entirely from New York. Citizens screamed with no voices. The third turned a city's memories to dust. No one remembered where they were born. This wasn't war. This was deletion. The Justice League scattered. Green Lanterns fell. Speedsters looped into their own births. Even Zatanna's magic crumbled under the weight of logic-based annihilation. Then, hope! From deep space, reinforcements arrived. The Superman of the absolute universe. The ones who had fought this before. The survivors. The rebels, led by S-Zero's successor, a superwoman cloaked in cosmic flame. We heard the heart cry, she said, hovering beside Cal. And we won't let Earth fall the way ours did. Cal nodded. You know how to stop them? No, she said, but I know what they want. At the center of Earth, beneath where the heart once lived, a remnant spark still pulsed. It was not Kryptonian. It was absolute DNA. One cell, a fragment, preserved in Kal-El after the heart's interface. Unknown to him, he was now carrying the absolute seed, and that made him the last gateway. The absolute beings converged. Superman flew into the stratosphere, luring them away, absorbing their hits, tanking cosmic laws through sheer force of will. In orbit, Batman initiated a fallback plan, Project Omega Fall. Cyborg fused with Apokolipsian tech. Diana summoned forgotten gods. John Kent, now Superboy Prime, took flight beside his father for the first time. I'm with you, John said. Cal smiled. Then let's show them what Krypton's legacy really means. As the beings fired beams that could fold history, Superman and his son flew headfirst into the blast. The sky split open, and the absolute universe cracked. The sky was fire. Two Supermen, father and son, collided with the absolute blast at light speed. The explosion bent the clouds, scorched the moon, and cracked orbit itself. But they didn't fall. They kept pushing. Behind them, Wonder Woman led a strike force of Amazons, Lanterns, and rogue absolute variants. Batman fired every last contingency from the Watchtower's core. Cyborg tapped into the old Apokolipsian war code, using the enemy's logic against them. But none of it worked. The absolute beings couldn't be destroyed. They weren't Flash or Tech. They were correction. And Earth was the anomaly. Superman realized it mid-flight, eyes burning white, bones shaking. You're not here to kill me, he muttered. You're here to replace me. Because Kal-El wasn't the virus. He was the last backup file of Krypton's broken code. A final copy. And as long as he existed, the absolute reset couldn't complete. So he made the choice. The one only a Kryptonian could make. He flew higher, past the sound barrier, past the satellites, into orbit. The beings followed. Then he sent a final thought to his son. Protect Earth, not as a Kryptonian, as its own. John screamed, don't. But Superman had already entered the upper flare field, the last point of cosmic ignition. He looked at the stars, Earth, then drove his fists into his own chest, activating the absolute seed within him. For one instant, Superman became a living reboot. The code, the vessel, the fuse. The blast silenced the universe. And then, nothing. The absolute beings blinked out of existence. The sky went still. Earth stabilized. No more pulses. No more multiversal breaches. Just peace. Below, Diana dropped to one knee. Batman clenched his fists. John hovered where his father vanished, tears turning into heat vapor in the sky. Superman was gone, but so was the threat. And for the first time in recorded multiversal history, Earth became invisible to the absolute grid. Free. Weeks passed. A statue rose in Metropolis. Superman kept billowing, arms outstretched, not flying, but holding the world. Inscribed at the base. Not Krypton's last son, Earth's first defender. In the Watchtower, John took the chair at the center. Wonder Woman guided him. Batman said nothing, but left a cape folded at his side. Then one day the sky shimmered, a small pulse, not dangerous, just a voice. Superman's, I'm not gone, just out of sync. If you hear this, it means Earth is safe. Tell Lois, I remember the sunrise. Always. Silence returned, but hope didn't fade, because legends don't vanish. They evolve, and somewhere in a layer of space untouched by time, Superman still flies. Watching, waiting, ready to return when Earth needs him again. And